Hi there. I'd like to wish you as happy a new year as possible. This is the fourth in my series of Benzo diaries, and this time I'm focusing on what my prescription is for putting this horrible, unjust, and frankly disgraceful situation right. We all know now it is beyond dispute, and in fact it is in the NICE guidelines, the current NICE guidelines, that these drugs are addictive. They can cause shrinkage of the brain, they can lead to Alzheimer's, they are toxic and dangerous, and people can become, as I have, addicted. That is no longer in dispute. What is stopping the powers that be from doing something about this and making the changes that so many of us desperately need help to make? And I've written a few things down which I think hopefully will contribute to the debate, and I'd be interested for you to respond on the YouTube channel and also my Facebook group campaign. It's a campaign about withdrawal from tranquilizers and antidepressant drugs. You can look at my name on Facebook. But first of all, we know what the problems are. I've had an horrendous start to the new year. It's not been good. And I think what is required from government and from the powers that be are the following things. Firstly, an immediate study into how many people are actually taking these bloody things. How many people are actually taking these drugs? We hear that there was a 5 Live investigation before Christmas which focused on the illegal side of the benzo trade, because there are people that use them in other drug use. With, unfortunately, there was a heart-wrenching story of two young people who died as a result of benzo misuse, which they would not have been aware of what they were doing, which they obtained on the black market. That needs to be addressed. But the program also then went on, didn't deal in enough detail, in my opinion, with the prescribed problem, which is the greater problem, which, the one that there seems to be a wall of silence surrounding. So, as Heather Ashton's study, which those who know about these things will know is kind of considered the definitive study so far in this country, was made some time ago, there needs to be a comprehensive look at these drugs, their effects, how many prescriptions are being given out, and exactly how many people are taking them and are dependent upon them. My view is that there's a lot more people like me out there than the authorities realise. Secondly, and this takes me back to my teenage years where I was given them at the age 17, a complete ban, unless supervised in a hospital environment, on benzodiazepine prescription for any minor. Anyone under the age of 18, I would say, should not be given these drugs under any circumstances unless signed off by at least one doctor or consultant. Thirdly, and this is very important, complete parity of treatment. Mr. Cameron, if that's what you want in mental health, parity of esteem with physical health, and apparently you're going to put some money into the services, which is welcome. If you want to achieve that, there has to be a parity of treatment and a parity of accountability for those who are in my situation, who didn't sign up for this bullshit, and those who are being treated for illegal drug dependency and alcohol dependency. It's my right under the Patients Charter to get the same kind of help and intensive treatment that those guys are getting. I want to make sure that people who want that help can access it. It's not happening at the moment in any way, shape or form. Parity of accountability also means punishing poor practice and highlighting poor practice. We can't have this wall of silence anymore between the drug companies, the NHS, the government, whoever. It's got to stop. And that's poor practice by GPs. It's also poor practice by consultants. Now, experts in that field have even less excuse than the rule for poor practice, because I would expect as a patient, I'm entitled to be ignorant. I would expect a consultant to actually know what they're doing. I've found in my own individual case, and I've heard of countless other cases where that's not happened. They've actually found consultants who know less about these things than the actual patient, and how on earth can that be justified in any way, shape or form? And if that means going on to legal redress so that people can be reimbursed for loss of earnings, quality of life, emotional distress, and all the rest of it, as they do in America. I don't like this compensation culture thing, but I think in this particular instance, a wrong needs to be righted. If that's the price of change, then so be it, bring it on. And there's just a couple of people, and they know who they are, who I would have in court tomorrow if it were possible. All staff, especially consultants, must follow NICE guidelines when dealing with regard to benzodiazepines. It must be that people who cannot come off the more short-acting, more potent benzodiazepines have the opportunity to agree a structure and a framework and map out a long-term solution to the problem that they had imposed on them. This didn't happen in my case with Dr. Viola or Dr. Hodgson. I was given a plan that was laid out, that was laid in front of me, and I was told either take it or leave it. That is unacceptable, and it's actually illegal. So, no pussyfooting around here. There is no excuse for not following NICE guidelines, and that's correct practice in attempting to help people to get, if necessary, to get onto a weaker drug like Valium, and then map out a process from there. But it's also got to be patient-led. We know what's going on inside our bodies, and to a certain extent our minds. Unfortunately, a lot of consultants like to play God, and they like to think that they know better, or they just bury their heads in the sand and say la 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 la. Well, sorry, that approach ain't gonna wash anymore, ain't gonna wash with me. You have to agree a dialogue and proper monitoring. This is basic stuff, proper monitoring of how people are getting on. I nearly died because I wasn't being monitored properly because people didn't discover that I was experiencing extreme drug withdrawal. This cannot be allowed to happen. How many more people have to die? I ask you. It's got to change. I would instruct the Health Select Committee to question all the relevant bodies, Royal College of Institute of Psychiatrists, drug companies, and also have inputs from patients, and I would instigate that immediately as a matter of urgency. I think it's high time that there was a proper report and a proper investigation conducted into these things. I'll be back with part 2 of this. I've only got 8.5 minutes memory on this, and I'm approaching running out here. So this is going to be uploaded in 2 bits. So I'll see you in a few minutes.